All right, good morning. And thank you for keeping it Citizen Television. We are so glad that you woke up with us. You have kept us company since we started the show till now. My name is Safina Chengoma. It's good to be back. I've missed this social hour. This hour, usually, we laugh, we learn. Like I was telling my panelists here, tunachekanga, we learn. Sometimes
we cry.
Tushailia. We've never cried, but we can get emotional. Yeah. Sometimes we talk about deep stuff here. Hey, but it's an hour that actually just gears towards making you a better person and a better human being. And this morning, like you see, the panel is fully constituted. Wacha nianzie wale mnajua. Energy ko inside, so Roberta,
my
Bobby.
Big smile. Good morning, everyone. Sikujua naweza pata withdrawal symptoms.
2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. It felt like a lifetime. I missed you guys so much. I'm happy to be back. The break was nice though. Na pia we Safin karibu. When do we watch for so
karibu. By the break was also so good. I was watching and I loved. Sometimes it's good to be a viewer. Nilisoma so much.
Unaona wow, kumbe hao watu wanakuanga wa smart TV. Kumbe una take in from a different perspective.
Great. Good to see you. QT.
Welcome back. Good to see you.
Thank you. Munipe hizo goodies.
I know. Good to see you manze. And big up Mr. Josh ameshinda akiwaulizia yeye na mabishte wake. Unajua anakuwa na committee yake wamekaa chini wanatu watch. All his friends are always watching, so big up Mr. Josh and all his friends, And good to see you guys, and I mean, we have a guest. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Ken Munywa. Of course, CJ is away today, but we have Ken Munywa. He's a psychologist. Ame specialized kwa kitu inaitwa organizational psychology. Nakwambia dunia inasonga, weka bado kwa hapo. 21 years he has been doing this, and we were just having a conversation and we were telling him how impressed we are. I mean, having done that for 2 decades, you're the right person to have for the topic we want to discuss. Karibu sana.
Thank you. I hope I'll be able to match the energy. Like I was telling you, I started with counseling psychology, so that's where I started. But now I'm specializing in organizational psychology. So it's not like I started with organizational psychology at first. Most of my years, about 14 of them, I've been in therapy, listening to people's problems, and then I realized, hey, naweza zisikiza sana. So wacha sasa nisikiza za kampuni, maybe they are better. But I'm happy to be here, and thanks for the invitation. I look forward to having this discussion.
Great. We also look forward.
Asante.
Karibu nyumbani.
Asante.
All right. So today we are talking about, we want to redefine this whole concept of personalities. Let's redefine personalities. Who are you really? As you watch this program, jiulize hiyo swali, who are you really? Like, who am I? Because we realize that the way we are going, it's sort of like we have missed the point. Watu wengi hawajijui. Many ascribe to things and character traits that maybe are not like the real them. It's because of maybe society, it's because of maybe peer pressure, it's because of maybe circumstances zile wanasemanga beyond our control. But we just want to understand when we talk about the issue that is called personality. What is it and where do you fall as a person? Because that will really help in making so many decisions in life. Na nataka tuanzie Roberta.
Roberta amesema usimwanze leo. Leo amesema usimwanze.
She should know me by now.
I know. When you last born
Ningenyamaza tu.
Yambi wangu hivyo ukiniambia usinianzie ndo naanza huko. So, wewe unakaanga unajielewa.
I seem like a person.
You seem like a person who understands herself. So when I ask you, who are you really, Roberta? What would you
Kwanza, wacha nianzie pali umesema. Mi ndo advocate wa wase kujijua. I'm always saying that thing for know yourself, love yourself, choose yourself. But when it's in conversation, it just seems like it ends there. It seems like it's sinajijua. Simi napenda kukula ugali na kwenda out na mabeshte. But it's a bit more complex than that. It's about who are you really? Like when nobody is watching, when nobody is questioning you, how do you show up for yourself especially? So it's really important. Iyo patia kukaa with yourself na kujijua. It's not just a thing we say, ati know yourself, know yourself. It's actually very personal. It's a very intimate thing to do for yourself, to get to know the simple things like What do you really enjoy? What don't you like? Who are you? How do you show up? What do you like? What do you not like? How do you talk to people? All these questions are things that you should seek to be able to answer for yourself, because it places you in positions where, first of all, you start attracting people who are on your level or people who you get easier. You start surrounding yourself with people of your caliber, which is amazing, because that already eliminates easy topic mingi tunadiscussingi hapa ati who sijui what. It removes a lot of issues, because once you know yourself for sure, you get to have an easier life. And Mimi, yes, I do seem like someone who knows themselves. I think I do. I do a hard work. Yeah, I do.
I hope you do.
I put a lot of intentionality behind like figuring out who I am, because I've already realized the benefits of it. Siezi kwa na low standards, niko na boundaries, siezi sit pali sipendwi, siezi vitu kama hizo. Like it boosts your self-esteem, boosts your confidence. It just helps you show up authentically as yourself. And that's the gift, that's the reward. Because if you're working towards becoming your better self, ultimately everything in your environment catapults you towards the best. Yeah, so it's really important. And yes, I do it deliberately. It's not a process that happens in the background. It's something I wake up every day and decide, today, kama sija work out for like a week. Jana, cutie, I'm sorry. Jana nilikuwa tu nimechill nikasema, enyewe sijifanyi poa. I've been doing so well the whole year. I'm starting to feel the fatigue right now. Sijui kani end ya fatigue manini, but I just told myself, if you stop one day, you tell yourself even tomorrow.
And inakuwa wiki moja then 2 weeks.
Then it becomes 2 months. So I pushed myself and I ended up working out and I felt so much better. So it's just about such things, deliberate decisions, small decisions. What will I eat today? Who will I talk to today? What do I want to watch? Will I show up in the gym? Those things build you to become who you are. And if you stay disciplined, you stay true to yourself, whatever that looks like. Si lazima ikuwe gym, inaweza kuwa whatever.
What is important to you?
Yeah, it's really important. And copy me. Do that so that you love yourself
it's
more.
Easier said than done. Ati copy me. You think it's that easy. Kuna watu wanasemanga become a better you, but you don't even know what you
don't even know.
Ati become a better version of yourself. But do you know the self first before you improve on it? Tuanzie hapo. So leo tunaenda back to the basics. Na nitakuuliza the same question. Who are you really? Like kusha figure out. Because for some of us, it's still a journey.
Okay, it's still a journey for everyone, I believe. But I think mali nimefika saizi, I know myself better than I did when I was younger. You know, when you're younger, you don't even know what you're doing. Haujuangi actually what you're... Yani hata ni kama unakuanga ukijifind. But saizi naweza sema at least I'm at 50%. 50% I know who I am. I know what I want. Like najua, I can pick and say, this energy, I don't need this. This type of friends, I don't need this in my life right now. Yani saizi najua like vitu zenye nataka. But if you ask me that question 10 years ago, in my 20s, I would be like, apana. Hata ungeniuliza sikuwa najua nafanya nini na life. Na unajua hii life, haina manual. Venye tunasemanga, parenthood haina manual. Life haina manual. Hakuna kitu iko na manual, because this is the first time watu tuambia act your age. What do you mean act my age? This is the first time I am 20. This is the first time I am 25 or 30, you know? So how am I supposed to act my age or grow up? I'm also learning. So it's a learning process. And just to go back to the character traits, at the end of the day, I believe it has a lot to do with the background. Mina believing like who raised you? How did they raise you? At the end of the day, as a parent, you play a very big role
in who your child
becomes. Because sometimes I know we might raise someone and then aende akue mwizi, aende akue kitumbaya, but you've done your part as a parent. So I actually believe like tunakuanga na hizo tunazitanga childhood traumas. Ujue kitu ilikuhappen ukiwa mtoi, utapata inaku affect in a way. It defines who you are, whether you like it or not. Hiyo kitu nimekamkuilan. Hata mimi mwenyewe nimekamkurealize kuna vitu zenye zilini happen in my childhood zina affect my thinking, zina affect how I do things, how I react to things. Like kama you see people who like keeping to themselves, utapata maybe umseni an only child, maybe hakupatio hiyo attention, maybe wazazi wake hawakuwahi kuwa kwa hiyo nyumba, so yeye amezoea space yake. So ukikuja asubuhi umeanza kumshout, and they're like, okay, relax, don't shout at me. You know, there are people who I didn't didn't realize that it's a personality, but it is. There are people who don't like to be. Mi naamkanga na kelele. Me actually, I wake up with music. I wake up. Mi nakwanga tu na kelele at 4 a.m. If you come to my house, I'm just nimeka music. I'm shouting. I'm doing things. But there are people who don't like that. They're like, Cheki, stop making noise. Stop shouting. It's too much for me.
Energy.
Then unasikia mtu anakwambia, don't be in my space, and I'm like, what do you mean I don't be in your space? Sisi kwetu we are 5. And we are always in each other's space. Like tuko siblings watano. Sisi hatujuangi ati space ya mtu. Sisi tunajuanga nimeamka, nishakuja kwa bed yako, nishakuja tumeanza story. And then like Christmas, we are all there, we are shouting, we are making noise. Mekuja, my nieces are there, my nephews are there. So there are people who don't know that. So at the end of the day, it goes back to your childhood. It goes back to your background. Who raised you, your honesty, your integrity. Are you a kind person? Are you a bad person? Unaget, kuna watu wanakwanga tu wabaya. Na si kupenda kwao, Safin. You know, there's someone who is just bad. Na imagine si kupenda kwake.
Ati ni wabaya na siko ubaya.
Siko ubaya. Umse ni mbaya na siko ubaya. Like hiyo ni karakta yake. Yani kwao unaget yeye wazazi wake maybe venye amegrow, place yenye amegrow. You know kids wana growingi wakiona vitu. Hata tukena hata tukonfirm. But watu hoi wana growingi wakiona vitu. So yeye akiona parent wake akifanya vitu fulani, yeye ana grow up akijua that's the way things are supposed to be done. Ati msee amekuja amenoka mfungue mlango. Nyinyi mko tu kwa nyumba like msifungue mlango, unaget. Na kuna wale wa kuja karibu. So I really think it depends with your background, how you've been raised and who raised you. When you may raise you. So as a parent, please be very careful with how you raise your children, because that's a whole human being and they're depending on you.
Yeah. All right. Ni mbaya lakini siko ubaya. Bado ni kwa.
Hivyo ndo nimelelewa.
Okay, Ken. The reason I ask the ladies to actually run us through their personalities is because today we are all about redefining personalities.
Yeah.
I want to see whether we are getting it right when I'm asked who I am, when I'm looking at the package Safin. What are the things that I'm supposed to look at to define who I am? What is personality? Let's start there.
Personality. The journey to self-awareness is one of the journey that we shall all go through, and I like the way she's put it, is that at every particular stage of your life, you get to know yourself better. Even in the good book, the Bible, at one point, Jesus asked his disciples, whom do people say I am? Because it's good to understand how you take yourself and how people take you. So personality is twofold. There is what people see and what people do not see. I like the background that you guys have. We call this the ocean model of self-awareness. The ocean is what is being defined, the openness, conscientiousness, extraversion. You hear people say, me, I'm an extrovert. Others say, I'm an introvert. But it depends. When you go to the history of personality, it goes to one guy called Hippocrates. Hippocrates said we are 4. We have cholerics, we have sanguines, we have melancholics, and we have phlegmatisms. So who are these cholerics? These are high achievers, people who go out there, they want to conquer the world. Most firstborns are like that. They go after, they want to be the first people to have achieved this. They are adventurous. They are the people who will want to go where nobody else has gone. These are the people who will do courses that you're even shocked. Kuna course kama hiyo.
The risk takers.
Yeah, the risk takers, the high achievers. And then we have sanguines. I can tell you are sanguine.
Yes, she
Tell me
is.
more.
There are people who go into the world, want to engage with other people. They don't like their own company. They enjoy being in people's spaces. They want to interact. They are people. They are people oriented. Yes,
I'm a
people's people.
I'm a
people's person. You look at most politicians, they are like that. You know, we could have actually politicians who are so good, but because they are not people's people, they will never even get the vote, because hata kuitisha kura yenyewe,
hata kuongea bunge
lakini wakati wa vote wako. Yeah, and then we have melancholics. These people are the ones who perfectionists. Everything must be done their way. You've ever had people who have OCD? Usipoweka karatasi hivi, mnakosana na wao. And then we have
viatu ziwekwe
hivi hata wakati wa kulala. These are the people who argue tissue utoka side gani, nafaa roll hivi ama roll hivi.
Do you know people break up because of
kufinya toothpaste?
Na toothpaste hawezi finya katikati, lazima uanze nayo. Sikia last one. Sikia ni last one.
Toothpaste unafinya aje kuanzia katikati.
And then we have phlegmatists, the people who come to make peace with everybody. Yeah. But when you look at where do we form personality? It is actually true. You've got it right. We are products and producers of our environment. First, you become a product of where you were raised. So the environment is a very good place. You've said life does not come with a manual. Life comes with a manual. It's called a mother.
Okay.
Yeah, the manual, it starts there, and it must start there. And especially when you have a child who is below the age of 7 years, you have to be there for the child.
Why not fathers?
Fathers, the world has shown fathers that yours is to go out there. Mothers are to nurture. Yeah, the work of a mother is to nurture. And that's why the society looks at a mother in a very different way when you neglect your child. Because hata kuna hii joke tu ni wewe unajua baba ya mtoto ni nani. The father could be the wrong father nurturing the right child. But the mother's work is to come and nurture and to show. And this is where most of us comes and we start saying, kwetu hatufanyagi hivi. Because that's what you were told by your mother. In our society, this is what we do. And again, it also depends how many children you are in your family. If you're raised with, your father was a firstborn, your mother was a firstborn, and you're a firstborn. 3 firstborns in one house.
Familia iko na
Masiyo tupu. Najua hakuna mtu anaambia mwingine. Kazi ni kujituma, ama nyinyi wote ni wale watu wa kwenda huko kujitafutia. And then ukute kengine kako hapa tu, father, lastborn.
So you are advising lastborns hawafai ku.
Mimi hata sijasema kitu kama hiyo. Lastborns wacha wa date ndio wapatiane attention wenyewe kwa wenyewe.
Na middle children.
Na middle children. Actually, when
watu wanafaa kumix.
Ni vizuri sana.
Firstborn na lastborn.
Where Safin?
But it also depends lastborn out of how many. You know, you could be a firstborn and a lastborn.
Yeah.
You're playing both positions. So when it comes to even dating, me huambia watu take your time. You know, being born, I've said this in this studio before. I've said being born in a poor family is not your problem. But being married in a poor family, that's your choice.
Yes.
No, umejiamulia. Being born in a family of that is chaotic, anarchic. You ni ushuhuda yako. Being born in a family that is so dysfunctional. You know, some of us come from dysfunctional families. Being born in that family is not your wish. But getting into another family that is dysfunctional, that is, yes, because nowadays, especially sisi watu wa social media, nyinyi siko hapo. Nyinyi watu wa kudate na social media, you are rarely having time to even know each other. Mumejua na social media, mumedate social media, mkaachana bila hata kumit. So some of the challenges na hamjai meet. Alafu you go to social media and update mnaandika ngati
An open relationship.
We'd like to announce our breakup.
Whom are you announcing to? And you know, this is the problem. And it's okay to also understand that because of our different personalities, we like engaging differently. An extrovert does not have a problem showcasing, I'm dating so and so. And so everybody should know. Na kuna mtu ukimpost analeta shida. In the era of social media, nikikwambia usinipost uko zile za kwani hutaki nionekane na nani? Ba si mambo na kuonekana na mtu. It's probably because of I love my peace.
Privacy.
Introversion. And you know, when you become an introvert, an introvert are people who really enjoy themselves. They enjoy their company. They are like, when I am alone, I'm not lonely. But look at people who cannot even go out without calling. Kwani leo mlikuwa? Kwani mko? Hamkuwa mnaniita? Alafu kutana na mabeshte wako wawili. They've bumped into each other. And then you're like, so you even planned to meet without me, and I am the one who introduced you to each other.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So personalities are very, very different, and it's a journey that even in psychology, when we started with Hippocrates, we went all the way with people like Carl Jung. Even to date, Maya Bridges is still trying to define what is personality. So it's a journey. It's a journey.
It's a journey. It's still a journey, even in definition. Roberta, have you ever found yourself in instances where you have to show up as a different person in a certain context and as a different person? Like, see constant that if you define that wewe ni sanguine. Are you, by the way, do you confirm? Yes, no, really.
I think I borrow from
somewhere.
Yeah, hiyo ya firstborn na hiyo ya kupenda watu.
So unajikutanga sometimes you have to adjust.
Yes, every day. Let me tell you, before Roberta Bobby, I feel like Roberta Bobby is a personality outside of who I am. Kitty may hang out na me outside work. I think she can understand.
True.
But like, I wasn't always a very confident person, and I show up very confident and very loud and so bubbly, and automatically a lot of people, everyone assumes that's who you. Yes, it is me, but it is part of me. I am also this other person who's quiet and chilled and a spendi mambo mob. I love spending time by myself. I love my peace. I love my space. But I'm also this person who's loud and happy, and I love everyone, and I'm happy to talk to everyone. So yes, there's so many times where I've had to show up as a different person. And for a long time, I used to be unable to reconcile these two personalities. I used to wonder, is it fake? Because when I enter some rooms, I am, but it's like I tell myself in my head, go, bring out that personality. So nikingia, hi everyone, hi. But when I'm by myself, I just need quiet and peace. I don't want story mingi. So I started realizing that these two people are not a different person. It's all me. It's just about like, how I want to show up in that particular time. And it's fine. There's no divide between ati Roberta is pretending, ama Roberta is being different. It's just reconciling who I really am, and by getting to know myself, Nika realized, oh, this confident girl, she's still me. It's just that you have the autonomy to show up as whoever you want to be, wherever you want to be, in whichever room, and that's fine. You don't really have to. It's good to define because it shows you who you are, and it kind of explains your attributes and your traits and who you are. But also, kwa hii journey ya personality venye tumesema, the more you go along, the more you grow, the more you heal, the more you figure out and you realize it's a journey, and you can really become anyone that you want to be. You can learn confidence. You can learn how to speak to people. You can learn how to go out and party, and you can also learn to love yourself, to love your peace, to be by yourself. So yes, I have been in situations where ni kusoma tu rada, kujua hapa naweza leta hizo jokes zangu ama nitulie. Kuna places zingine ukiingia utashangaa, guy huyu ni Roberta, niko serious. Saki mchezo. Na kuna places zingine ukiniona bado. So it's
and it
all these
mean
people
you're pretending.
I'm
this
not
is just who you are.
Some of these things are learned. I had to learn how to, because I was such an anxious person. Especially, I just grew up as a person who could not speak her mind. Na niliona, kumbe wale watu wanajibonganga ndo upata opportunities. Kumbe wale watu wenye uingia room wanasalimia kila mtu ndo kwa noticed, ndo kwa remembered.
Good girls.
Yeah,
they don't get to the corner of
exactly.
That light one.
Exactly. So figuring that out, it's just about, it's not fake. It's not pretense. Ultimately, it became who I am because this is who I am. But then nikusoma tu rada kujua how to show up where, because sometimes you can't bring jokes in a serious meeting and you can't be serious when people are trying to have fun. So it's just soma rada, jua who you are, jua how to show up.
It's good to sorry to cut you.
Okay.
What she's defining is very, very important because people have this misconception that this one is a pretender. But you know, personality is like pregnancy. You can't hide it forever. But there's what we call the ego states. Ego states. You know, the word ego, many people misuse that word. Ati you akona ego. By the way, kukuwa ego is very, very important. But in the ego, we have ego states. And that is what she was trying to define. We have a parent ego state. At one particular time, your ego will tell you, here you need to be a parent. Like in the midst of so many of your same age mates, but one of you grows up and directs them. That's a parent. There's another one who is an adult. Watu wako na wana. So you realize tukiendelea hivi hatuendi mahali. So you become an adult.
And you need those people in your group.
And then there is the child ego state. And this is what most of us bring out. The child ego state is the bubbly one. The one who kikunywa kesho mnamwambia ulikuwa unatuambia nini?
You also need
mimi. The child ego state is the one that is supposed to let you go out, let it loose, have fun. It's never that serious.
People in your life.
Even in companies, like companies, any company that is too serious, it becomes a toxic one. Lazima kukue kuna mtu anatoa kijoke. Kijoke tu hata management haielewi. Mkiona tu It's the child ego state. So at one particular time, it's not that your personality has changed. It is the situation that you have been exposed to that brings out the important ego state. Like right now, we've just come when Sam was doing an interview. That interview ended with the parent ego state.
We were scared.
Sasa hapa leta parent ego state. Ati nijifanye venye nimesoma katikati yenu. Haiwezi waka tunaanza kuuliza. Tulitolewa huyu wapi? So it's important to know at what point do you become what, and it's not that serious.
It's good to adjust.
Be serious. Be
Somarada. Vile amesema somarada ujue
when to be what.
I love that.
Yeah? QT, because I've known you for a while, so allow me ask you this. Kuna time ulifika kwa maisha yako, you decided to really like take charge. Of your life, na ukasema in your direction tunataka kwenda. And a lot has happened in that season.
True.
You've been sharing with us, and we are really quite challenged. How bad can it get? Just to talk to somebody who's watching, hujajielewa ama unafika kwa ile point in life, there is just a lot going on, baka una feel like you've lost yourself in all that, How bad can it get? And then what worked kuanza hiyo journey ya redefining who you are, packaging yourself in a new way, doing things differently, and actually growing towards the direction that you want to grow in life.
Because I can say, actually, unajua pia emotionally, sometimes, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, people need to understand, you need to have boundaries with your family, with your friends, with your mother, with your father, with your brothers, with your sisters. I think that is something that really drains us. And I think nilipiki character trait from my mom, because my mom is really generous, like hajuangi boundaries, unaget ile menda home mmempelekea vitu lakini anazipeana, and you're like, okay, uzihitaji ama
sio wenu tu.
Exactly. Mama wote wako hivyo, so sometimes I think inafikanga mahali you're too generous. Me, I think all my life I've always been generous. Like watu wanajuanga nikikuja kwa QT atanisort. Me hata nilikuwa najinyima. Sometimes I even used to borrow so that I give someone. So ikafika mahali I know Mother Teresa. Now by the way, mabeste wangu walikuwa wanitaga Mother Hen, because I used to take care of everyone in the group. I used to be the one who used to do everything. When it's trips, I'm the one who's organizing everything. And then I came to realize I'm losing myself in all this. Najidrain. Na realize by the way wase wakishaenda njia zao and all that. Sasa nikianza kukaa chini na realize financially, emotionally, mentally I am not okay. Nilianza tu ku realize by the way wase wanani drain. Na si ati siwapendi, ni mabeste wangu, ni siblings wangu, they are my family. I love them, but I realize this thing is draining me and I'm actually losing myself. Even in relationships sometimes you find yourself you're in a relationship but you don't even really need to be in this relationship. Uko kwa relationship unajipata una please tu mtu. Uko hapo tu kila kitu anataka unasema unajidate. Yani it's all about them and it's not about you. And that's why the way we are saying it's a journey. Unajua hiyo time yenyewe nilikuwa I was younger honestly. So that's why I'm saying some things even come with age. Enyewe kiukweli tu we have to acknowledge that age pia huwa ina change vitu mob sana. Because when you're growing up vitu nilikuwa nafanya hata 5 years ago, literally 5 years ago, sifanyi saizi even things hata last year. Every year you're a different person. Even every month you're a different person, you're better, you're good at what you do. Because nilikuwa nasemanga mimi by the way mimi gym nilikuwa nasemanga watu endaga gym kufanya nini? I never used to understand or get it. By the sikuwa na get. Nilikuwa naona tu mbona nijitese, hii ni time wasting. Hii ni ya mababi. Hii story ni ya mababi. Zoezi ni ya mababi. Hii ni kushow off. But with time, kuna mtu tu alikuja tu akaniexplainia. Mimi nilikuwa najiambia mimi nitaanza kuaccount nikifika huko 40s, in my 40s ndio life begins at 40, I had a different mentality. Then someone came into my life and akuni force, aliniambia tu why do you have to wait for 40? Akaniexplainia. Akaanza tu kuniambia by the you lose muscle, you do what? Na akaniambia si lazima uende gym. People, watu ni need zoezi. It's not about the gym, ni kupiga tizi kwa grao. Enda kwa grao, amka asubuhi, kimbia, tembea, even walking ni zoezi, unaget. But here your story of boundaries, I think ndo nililearn the hard lesson. The hardest lesson in my life. Set your boundaries. It doesn't matter who it is.
What you don't.
Know what you allow. And this means your father, your mother, your siblings, your friends, your aunties, your uncles. Maze wasi wanaweza kumaliza. Yani Safin, people can really drain you mpaka ufike point aunanga furaha. Ushaika hivi chini, unajipata una furaha, uko kwa masimu. Unajiuliza the whole day I've been on phone, I've been working, umefika home uko kwa masimu. Bro, time yako ni gani? Are you taking care of yourself? Hii value yenye unapewa watu wengine, why are you not giving yourself this value? Hii financial help unapewa watu wengine, have you helped yourself first? Right. Ask yourself emotionally, uko poa mentally, wewe ndio unataka kwenda kupatia watu advice. Mi si Ken, unacheki hata Ken amesema yeye alifika mahali akaona historia ya kusikiza Mbogi pia, unajua nafika mahali inakuwa tu ni too much, una get wewe ndio unabeba wase like mimi nilikuwa ule msee, nilikuwa na hata mabeste wangu watakwambia mimi nilikuwa nabeba Mbogi, mimi ndio nafanya ma house parties, mimi ndio nafanya game nights. Hata saizi kuna mtu aliniuliza what happened to the game nights and I'm like cheki, sina energy, sina strength, like nimechoka tu kuwabeba, but nawapenda nyinyi mabeste wangu, una get. Saizi hata sometimes tukiendaga na Bobby ni ule msee mwenye nitaenda atanipatia tu charger ya simu, niko na socket hapo Bobby afanye whatever she's doing, I'm doing whatever I'm doing, but I'm with her. Like tuko kwa place moja, but we don't even need to talk. I just need to be there with her. Na feel tu niko tu sawa, tuko pamoja na Bobby na spend time na Bobby. Unajua watu waizagi kudefine you could be in a relationship Safin. Msi ako bedroom, ako na space yake, wewe uko sito, uko na space yako. Si lazima, hakuna shida. Imagine it's okay. But people don't understand that. Unafikiri every time lazima tushinde tukiongea, sasa unajua cheki, wewe tu kapo. Bora si tuko pamoja. We're in a relationship, we are together, we are there, I'm there for you. If you need me utaniambia, hebu come and check this out. What do you think about this? You know, that's something that I think nimelearn with time. Like kaa hapo, mimi nikae hapa but nakupenda. Tuko tu sawa, nakupenda na unanipenda. Unaget.
You remember there's a good statement that was made by our former vice president, Saitoti, may he rest in peace. Yeah. There comes a time. There comes a time in your life, there must come a time when you ask yourself some very important questions. Where am I? Where have I come from? And where am I headed? Because unaweza jipea sana watu. Even in relationships, there is a sense of individuation that you have to be allowed to be yourself for you to be able to thrive. And we might have learned some bad manners, but you can unlearn them and relearn them if they were good, or learn some new ones. Yes. There comes a time when you have to leave your current so that you can be blessed in your future. But if you continue the way, let me tell you, you have to learn how to tell people no. Yes. You have to learn when to stop, because people who receive do not know how to say stop.
Learn how to tell people no.
No. Yes, and no is an answer, by the way, and you owe nobody any apology. You tell people, the moment I learned, ukiniomba pesa kukwambia sina, and I have no apologies to make. And actually, it's good to give
guilt,
guilt tripping hapana. Mimi, by the way, unaweza niomba pesa nikwambie sina, then you find me eating nyama choma ama having my one or two. Don't say, niambia hauna pesa. It's good to say this, sikuwa nayo ya kukupea. Lakini nilikuwa nayo ya kujitumia. Let me tell you, and I have seen this because I have been in therapy room. People who give themselves and end up having nobody as a support system. They get into depression. Christmas kwenu ni wewe kila kitu. Sasa kuna mtu ashaanza kuweka plans. Kwetu tutachinja, tutafanya nini? And then the ones who wanapewa nini treat wako zile za kwani this year hatukuwa tunakula nyama juu amezoea. Hebu azoeshe. Hey, excuse me. There must come a time, and even in relationships, it's okay for me to individuate and not to hate my wife. Because if today I closed that eye and I am dead, do you know her life will still continue? Actually, some of my brothers will wear my clothes to bury me. And some of my friends will be looking at Shiro, my wife, and
ni karembo hivyo.
Kuna fisi marafiki zangu naonanga venye wanamwangalianga zile za. And her life will still continue. But what about you? Imagine going to heaven and God tells you, unaenda hell juu au kujipenda. You know, it's a very bad thing. Start loving yourself. Even your salary, when it comes first, I tell people, I have 10 Sharia that I use. 10% of my salary goes to tithing. Because I'm a Christian, a faithful Catholic, and I do it. 80% is matumizi yetu, mimi, Shiro, watoto wake, familia zetu, 80%. Alafu kuna 10% yangu. Ya kujipea mimi mwenyewe. Najiambia, lakini nimevumilia sana hiyo mwezi. Hata si pole tu, unakutana tu na kiatu na unajua unagongwa. Lakini unasema nitainunua, nikuwe nikivaa kiatu ya kugongwa. You know, sometimes do things for yourself. Many of us don't do things for ourselves.
Ya kugongwa ili change, lakini okay tu.
Gongwa basi. Sio hiyo. Umebadilisha language yote. And finally to say this, your journey towards knowing yourself and knowing what you know should end at 30.
Yeah.
If at the age of that you do not know where you're going, any road will take you there. Yeah, even coming from a humble beginning ends at 30.
Yes.
But in me, I was
Humble
raised in a
background.
humble background at 30. From 31, you are the humble background. You should be the one to raise your children in a different manner. Having bad friends should end at 30. You should have friends who add value. The rule of reciprocity says, do unto me what you'd want me to do unto you.
Yeah.
So even if you're dating, you are the only one who gives, kwani niwe tu unajua language ya kupeana. Na haupewi mchana na usiku. You know, it's a very bad thing. You need to know. Gongi.
Guys, turudi sasa kwa topic. Anyway, so there's something else I want us to talk about. Unapatanga, there is this struggle to balance yourself. Unapata mtu ako so successful career wise. Ana hit the right targets, like yeye ndio bazu kwa industry yao. But ikikam kwa mambo ya social life, zero. Ikikam kwa mambo ya financial discipline, anapata pesa mingi but unashindwa, like inaweza fika point mtu ashindwe kubalance personality yake. Like anaegemea side moja kushinda ingine, mpaka anakumbushwa oa.
Kuna watu waendi Christmas home, wanafika umeka msolo.
Ama kuna mababy mama.
Safiri wacha kukua person.
Bana.
Kwani baby mama tu.
Tusaidie watu. Unawezaje kuwa wewe ndio kusema kwa ofisi yenu, kwa industry yenu, na umeshindwa kujiorganize kwa mapenzi, uko na mababy mama wa sita. Like, how
everybody
can you
has been given the same hours in a day, 24. Kila mtu akona 24 hours. The problem is, how do you manage your 24 hours? I have only one way I say how to do it. Divide it by 3. 24 is divisible by 3. 8 hours of enough sleep.
Rest.
Yeah? Rest, actually. Usi oversleep, because you cannot sleep like you're dead and hope to make it in the world of the living. Yeah? So 8 hours at the bare man. 8 hours of work. Na hapo kazini, the other 8 hours is for social capital. You need to look for family, you need to look for faith, and you have to look for friends. They are actually the 3 Fs. Friends, family, and your faith. Yeah? That lazima uko na mabeshte wa church. Kwani utaziko aje?
Bana.
Kitu mbaya kama mtu.
wrong notion.
Apana, by the way.
Reality.
No, but it's a reality that you have to have some people surround you.
Who will bury you?
Not bury per se. People who are teaching you about religion, religiosity, spirituality. Yeah, people who can mentor you. That in your world, but this is not our end. Kuna world ingine. Family. Sisi watu wa Nairobi and uptowns have forgotten our families. And you're forgetting that the last people to carry your casket. You know, at the age of 40, you said life begins at 40. Life begins at 40 towards your death. It's not that you're beginning your life, it's towards your death. Yeah? And when you hit the age of 40, you stop. No, but ni ukweli, najua unafika tu hapo unaogopa. When you hit the age of 40, you stop preparing for your CV, you start preparing for your eulogy.
Retirement.
Wow.
No, eulogy. What will be left when you are gone? That is family. And then friends. Everybody requires friends. Social capital. Your network is your network.
Yes.
Usidanganywe na watu that you don't need to know people so that you can thrive. Hey, Mimi, I'd rather have millionaires as friends because they are going to assist me to be a quicker millionaire as opposed to paupers. If you have 9 friends who are millionaires, you can be the 10th.
Yes.
If you have 9 friends who are poor, you'll be the 10th.
Yeah.
Na hakuna kitu mbaya kama associate with the people who are gloomy. You know, happiness is contagious.
It's true.
Yeah, happiness is contagious. You stay with the happy, you look happy. Mi kwanza nikiona beshte ameanza maneno ingine hapo na ameanza stories za kila mtu akona zake, kila mtu akona avoid the unlucky, by the way. Very true.
I like that.
Yani every time una spend time ni mashida.
Complaining, they're always complaining about something. You'll become the 9th one. True.
Na sio vizuri, sio
Tena
vizuri.
kuna ma-realities zingine naoma hapa leo. Watu waambiwe ukweli.
Ni ukweli, unaona mpaka social capital yako, it will protect you.
Yeah.
If you grow build the people who are closer to you, because your downfall, they're the people who are going to arrest you. You're not going to fall down. Lakini ukijiona umesonga, wewe songa na utafute mabishte wamesonga. Again, you can have derailers as friends, yeah? That you want to try and help everybody. You want to be the Mother Teresa of your family. Ati ulipiwe bro school fees, ulipie bro aoe, alafu aoe na mjenge na umlele watu. Wewe utailea watoto wako. There's a time, and I appreciate my grandma. But it's true. My grandma is 84, and at one particular time, my grandma sat me down and told me, "You have really tried to make your career. Do not regress." She didn't say it in English, but I summarized it. That word regression is a word that I avoid to date. And you know, there are people who are so looking forward to you to fall. Waanze kukuchekelea. Never give them that opportunity. So what do? Avoid them. Avoid them completely. Avoid those people. Hata kuna nasikia siku hizi mnaimbia kila kitu. Kenya kuna kitu mjaimbia, nasikia mmetoa wimbo ya masheveve.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Unajua hiyo kitu ya balance is really really very important. Na kuna watu kwanza introverts. Leo QT alikuwa ana beef na introverts kwa makeup room. Kuna watu wenye ujifungia wanadhani growth can happen in isolation. Like mi spendi drama, spendi venye tu Ken amesema, every character is very important in your life. Kuna role ya kila mtu, role ya huyo derailer, na role ya huyo millionaire, na role ya huyo mtu wa kelele, na role ya huyo mtu nyamaza. Everyone can bring out something from you if you choose to pick out the good traits, the things that are harmless to you, things that improve your life. So I think it's really important kubalance. Usijifungie useme mi spendi friends, mi spendi kwenda out, mi ukwa hivi, mi ukwa sijui nini. Una stay stuck in that situation. There's things that you need, even like socializing, knowing how to be social. Unajua mi kuna time nilikuwa najifungia sana, nikihang out na watu, jokes zina fly, zinanipita, sijui kurelate
kama hiyo.
Na take vitu personally, na shangarada. Unajua unapitwa na vitu mob, lakini ni hiyo socialization. Hata tu language, kujua tu kuongea na watu, kujua kuongea aje kwa situation gani. Such things are they're small, but once you isolate yourself for long and then you come back out, you start to notice, kumbe it's important to talk to people. And your community, it's so important. Making sure that you show up for people, especially. I like what Ken and QT said about, you know, it teaches a point now, family is so important. Please don't disregard, useme sijui watu wa kwetu nifanyia nini. Ni home tu utarudi. Hata nini fanyike, ni home tu utarudi. So please make sure, the same way you're putting all your effort into your job and your money, especially men. You know, men, they focus on career, money, providence, doing this, and then nimesema hii kitu hapa before, ile nursing homes wanasema vile a lot of men are dying alone, while the women are really surrounded by community
and love.
Women wanavisitiwa hadi na primary school teacher wake, na saizi wako 80 years old. Primary sijui what, unaona? So iyo community, don't think ati focusing on money only will give you everything. Ama ignoring money and focusing on friends only. Ama focusing on relationship only. Please balance because you need to be healthy.
Kabla nisahau, unaweza kuwa unawaka uko na history ya kutuma pesa, kama kuna contribution unatuma pesa. Kuna wale
sponsors.
Sometimes the point I want to make, go there. Unajua, create this relationship with these people. Kuna tu hao watu wenye wanaonanga ati hawa ni pesa tu wanataka.
Tafini ni wa mado.
Unatuma tu pesa.
In
these
Ghana
people, they don't have a relationship with you. Siku moja wakianza kuhesabu watu in their social circle, you are nowhere in their social circle.
And you've been contributing.
And you've been contributing.
And they will contribute when you need, but they will not come. In Ghana, they say the eyes mean a lot than the money that you're going to send me. Because pesa ni utafutwa. Lakini urafiki ni kujenga.
Urafiki na watu. Sometimes si lazima watumie tu pesa all the time.
I like that.
Go to your family, spend hizi harusi, attend hizo harusi.
Attend.
Unaweza pata mtu hapo kama hauna.
And just to add on what they both said, unaona hiyo kitu amesema ya unakuanga na different friends. Imagine I felt like he was talking to me because mi niko na beshte yangu, big up Kasiti by the way, anakuanga beshte yangu wa like endo ni lead jani ya Christianity, stories za kuomba, stories za nini, hata time nilipata job yangu ya kwanza. No, but and funny thing udem nimemjua for like yeah, she's a very good friend now udem I think nimemjua for like 2 decades, like she's always been in my life and that's her role. Yani ule wa cheki QT, ukipata job ya kwanza aliniambia cheki church very fast, QT Thanksgiving, QT, yani she's always there for that. And then kuna ubeshte yetu mmoja mwenye anaanzishaga kitu moja, so let me not, wacha tu niseme tu randomly, but yeye ndo wa kwanza kubai gari, yeye ndo wa kwanza kujenga, yeye ndo wa kwanza kuinvest. So akianza yeye akianza tunaanza ni kama anatuambukiza sisi wote, you see. So that's why I was saying it's the way they are saying it, it's so important to have those kind of friends make sure uko nao mabeshte wenye wako hapo, na venye amesema ukifikanga 30 life yako ina change to the nini. Then kuna ule mse mwingine mwenye sasa ndio huyo wa workout tuna get. Then kuna ule mse mwingine mwenye yani mimi mabeshte wangu saizi wenye niko nao, that's why I'm saying sianzishe ati new friendships zile za die hard. Yes, new friendships are coming but wale mabeshte wenye wamekuanga hapo, I have like just 5 friends wenye najua huyu tunajuanga investment, huyu tunajua ni church, huyu tunajua ni workout, huyu tunajua ni nini, kila mtu ako na role yake. Yani every friend that is in my life right now I can point out and say huyu ni wa hii job, huyu ni wa hii job, na mimi pia wanajuanga mimi ni wa hii specific. So that is very important to just balance. Usikwe tu na mabeshte tu nde like okay uko tu na beshte ni wa nini. Investment is very important but mimi nilikam kujua hizi vitu with time, una get, na ndio maana niko kwa life ya Bobby. Sawa, wajua hiyo story, ndio maana kuna purpose yenye niko kwa life ya Bobby. Kuna role ana play kwa life yangu na kuna role na play kwa life yake.
You need to have 3 categories of friends. One category is people who challenge you. You look up to them, yani I would want to catch up with them.
Wanakuintimidate na
nilikuwa naambia wife mi nataka in 2 years time nitakuwa member wa golf club, na si hizi za hapa sitaji jina. Kule juu venye naelekea nimekuwa kwa makelele sana. You need to go now and have friends who are quiet wako kwa golf club. So naitangwa tu na mabeshte wangu, naambia Mungu hata wewe saa God unajua. Hii ni prayer list Number 2, you need to have peers whom you're moving the same direction. Unasema amenunua gari, akuonyeshe, si kila time wewe ati kazi yako ni kubebwa. Unabebwa aje? Hata uwezi enda out kwa mtu mwenye ana drive gari akisimama hata wewe unasimama na ameenda lu. By the way, ukiwa na mbogi and the first thing when you go out lazima mfanye harambe. Uko na ngapi tujue tunachukua nini? Uko na ngapi? Kuna shida mahali. Because your peers should not be struggling the way you're struggling. Your peers at least kuna mmoja anasonga mbele kidogo. And then you also have to have friends who look up to you.
Yes.
What is their role? To soothe your ego and your esteem, to tell you at least somebody is looking up to you, so don't give up. And sometimes I tell people,
feel good about
no. It's good to feel good about yourself, so that even when you feel like giving up, you always remind yourself of how many people are looking up to you and saying, I would want to be like so and so. For those people, you don't give up. For your peers, you're like, life is good at least. And for the ones you look up to, you're telling yourself, I am not where I'm supposed to be. At least I can be a rank higher.
Wow. It's true.
Nakwambia.
Leo imeweza.
Get of fresh air.
Leo imeweza. So, nataka tumalize na just looking at way forward. Sasa kuna mtu amekuwa kitu watch, amechanganyikiwa, like hajijui, hajielewi. Na vile Roberta alikuwa amesema, so many problems zinatokananga na hiyo kukosa kujielewa. Ali mention in the sense that the topics we talk about here, mashida tunaongeanga sometimes here tuna address, ni kwa sababu mtu ujijui, so unajiingiza kwa situations na circumstances zenye ujielewi. People want to know who they are, but they don't know where to start. Wengine wanasema it's easier said than done. Yes, I'd like to be all that you guys have described, but then where do I start? How do I begin this journey? Nianzie wewe Roberta. Then kuna swali nilirushiwa, I think tutaanza tu tukiendelea. How do you know that you're beginning to lose yourself?
Okay.
Because we cry of losing other people. Lakini tujaifikiria kuna hii kitu ya I can actually lose myself. And what that looks like.
Let me jibu the one for starting losing yourself. You see, for someone like me, because I'm very intentional and deliberate with my life, it's easy to notice when something is a bit different. And it's I did this intentionally. Remember when we began the year, I told you guys my biggest goal this year is self-discipline.
Yeah.
So I started mastering self-discipline. And the thing is, it starts inaanzanga kuingia kwa everything you do. Unaanza na gym, lakini it affect how you eat, how you spend your time, who you talk to, where you hang out, blah, 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 blah. So saizi that nime master self-discipline, when I start to fall in one area of my life, it's easy to notice. It's easy to point out. Kama saizi venye nimesema sija work out. So naweza fanya introspection nijiulize, why haven't I been working out? Is it because I'm sad? Am I sick? Am I depressed? Do I not have money? Is it, what is it? So unaona niko able to diagnose why, because I've started mastering the self-discipline. So I think that's something that's worked for me. Having routine, and it doesn't have to be very strict or like, this is how I do everything. It just has to be, this is what I want to achieve, and this is my goal, and this is what I'm going towards. So ukianza kuslack, you're able to tell, this month I've not talked to my friends. I told myself self-discipline. Self-discipline means being available for my family, being available for my friends. If I've not been able to achieve that, then it means something is wrong. And for everyone who's watching, you know, and they're asking, where do I start? How do I begin? Let me tell you, sometimes you don't even have to make the decision. The universe will make it for you. Yeah. It can be you go through pain, or you go through loss. Like me, something that made me want to improve myself was depression. I sank so deep in the bottom that I had nowhere to go. Yani ilikuwa, it's either niende juu sasa ama ni hivyo, imeisha sasa. So that pushed me. It doesn't have to be depression that makes you want to improve yourself. You can just learn from us. You can learn from someone else. Improving your life doesn't have to be grand or anything. It can be the smallest thing, the littlest things that you do for yourself. You want to look hotter, do something about it. You want to sound smarter, do something about it. Maybe read a book, maybe watch a movie, maybe talk to a friend.
With smart people.
Exactly. Hey. Enda ujispoil hizo viatu za kugongwa. Enda ununue. Enda uzivae uone utafeel aje. Yeah. Uki experience unaona, siwezi rudi kwa hizo viatu zingine sasa. Hii ndio standard. Unaona, so ukianza kunotice uwezi zi afford anymore, unajua, okay, my financial health is not doing that well. So it all ties in. When you love yourself, you show up for yourself. When you show up for yourself, people show up for you. Yeah. And if people are showing up for you, even you can show up for them. It's all very reciprocal. So it starts with you. Start with self. Do things for yourself that make you feel very loved by you. You'll be able to notice when other people are loving you. And then it's a domino effect.
Yeah. Guys, we live in a society where mtu unaweza tumika. Usipokuwa careful,
niulize mambo ya kutumika.
Watu wametrainiwa ku receive, but we are not training enough givers. Yeah. So unapata in every relationship, at the workplace, in your social relationship, friendships, people are used to receiving and they want more and more. And if you're not careful, utajikuta umetumika mpaka umeisha. So be very careful. Start with yourself first so that you can have enough to give.
Yes.
Yeah? Build yourself. Ukitaka kupea watu joy, you have to have extra. Like yako imekutosha na yenye unaweza share. So imagine umeishi maisha, you are so sad and people are expecting you to give them joy. You will drain yourself.
You will drain yourself. Yeah. And just to add on that, I'll just finish by saying the takers have no limits. Me, I'm a very good example of that. Like takers umeniguza. Like takers hawananga limit. Atakuja kesho, hiyo story ya kuomba do tu alipeana very good example, like nisaidie na thao hata kulipa. Unajua ni do yako. Watu walisema you actually spend more money asking for the money. Mtu anaweza kuwa amekuomba thao, lakini uta-spend more money, utashinda ukimpigia, utashinda and agony and sadness and because at the end of the day and emotions, umekasirika, amekata kunirudishia thao yangu. Yeye haoni kani do mob. Jua anasema, ni cute, thao ni nini kwake, thao tu ndio. Sasa hiyo ndio utashinda ukinikasirikia. But in the first place mse alijinyenyekea akikuja kuomba. So mimi nimelearn ku say no. By the way, hiyo story mmesema ya ku say no. Nowadays I just tell someone, no, haiwezi cheki, brother, haiwezi. Utakuja kwa hii nini event? Hapana. Utakuwa unafanya nini? Nitakuwa nimekaa kwa hao na lala. Sawa? Like nowadays, yeah, it's true. Because you see, unaona hivyo venye tunasema I cannot pour from an empty cup. My cup needs to be full. Because at the end of the day, the whole week I've been waking up at 4. Nimekuwa nikigym, nimekuwa nikifanya job, niko na diet, niko na nini, kuna mtu, yani nimekuwa nikifanya vitu zangu, una get. So mimi nitawezaje kufanya hizi vitu zingine if my cup is not full? So venye tu tumesema, please take care of yourself and know that that it's okay not to be okay, na usikuwe na haraka na life. Utalani hizi vitu, because mimi venye niliturn 30 ndo nilianza kujirealize, ndo nilianza kujua so many things. Hizo ni in my 20s hata sikauntigi. I had my fun, I learned my lessons, but right now acha nitumie hiyo jina, nimejinao, najijua, najitambua like najua kenye nataka kwa relationship, na naweza ka single nikijua sitaki hii relationship, so it's okay to be single. Why should I get into a relationship? Unaweza kuwa single na uko happy. Watu fikirianga lazima nikuwe kwa relationship ndio nikuwe happy. Be single, take care of yourself. By the time boy anakuja kwa life yako, atacheki huyu siwezi mess na yeye, huyu siwezi cheat on them, huyu hata siwezi mguza, huyu hata siwezi mpiga, siwezi mfanyia. Even your friends, mabeshto wako wakikama atasema by the way cute apendagi hizi vitu. So please take care of yourself, na ujue takers hawana limit. Watachukua kila kitu mpaka wapeleke kwa bakery, watakuja wachukue mpaka the factory itself. They have no limit. So please don't put boundaries for yourself, kindly.
Yeah, Ken.
I like how you're bringing it. When I went to university to do my first degree is in counseling and a minor in theology. So sometimes I like basing it in the theological perspective. I'm not a preacher. Jesus had 12. You may wonder why a son of God had 12. That's a crowd. From the 12, he would withdraw with 3. Mm-hmm. And from the 3, there is one who thought he's more loved than the others. Mm-hmm. And at one particular time, he would also go alone. It's okay to belong to a society, a community. Mm-hmm. But in that community, you also need dependable people that you can assign responsibility of giving you feedback. We grow by receiving feedback from people. Mm-hmm. It is in the 3 that Peter, John, and James, Jesus would go and say, lakini watu, kunaendaje? Na mnajua Judas ako pale. And there's a Judas in your life. There will always be a Judas.
Ako hapo karibu.
You know, some of our problems will cease when we stop talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do not trust the right people. Yeah. Nowadays, snakes don't hiss; they kiss. Munakutana nako kana kupatia kapek. That's a snake. You need to ask yourself, how many snakes do you have in your life? And you also need to learn how to individuate and know that happiness can actually come from being alone. Yes. Joy. I think Whitney Houston, if I'm not wrong, sang and said, the greatest love of all time is learning to love yourself. You cannot love your neighbor if you do not love yourself. You cannot expect other people to do things for you if you're not doing things for yourself. People will treat you the way you treat yourself. Ushaiona watu wanaendanga out, lakini kuna watu wanajua hii klasi ya huyu si a chrome, with all due respect.
Tutabidi
hii tuta upgrade tu kidogo.
Ama wakitaka kupeleka mahali wanajidiscuss ule hata
ama gift. Wewe si mtu wa kuchukuliwa gift anywhere. People must be very intentional, and you also must be intentional. So finally, because we're in the social media aspect, I'll tell people, go to a website to learn more about yourself. It's called www.16personalities.com. 16personalities.com, and go and be real as you answer those questions. It's going to bring everything about you. What work, ni job gani unaweza fanya ambayo itakupatia happiness? What kind of relationship should you try to look for? What is your strength? What's your area to work on? And remember, ask people. People who are genuine, they will be ready to assist you. But people who are not genuine, uko sawa. Ushaikutana na mabeshtu wanakuuliza, na huyu dem nimepata juzi ako aje? As long as you are happy.
Kuna kitu wakuambi.
Kuna kitu ujui.
I wish tungekuwa na more time, but unfortunately that's how we wrap it up. We really appreciate you creating time to join us on the Social Hour. We do this again next week. Asante sana, and let's keep this conversation going on social media. We will really like to hear what you'd like us to discuss, any question you have. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day ahead.